You're listening to the Reality of It All podcast, candid conversations about today's hot topics. And now here's your host, Tracy Osborne. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Okay, today we are talking periods, ladies. We've all had them. We've all got them. We all hate them. I don't think there's a woman on this planet who looks forward to getting her period every month unless she's trying not to get pregnant. So with me today is Chary Vargas, as I try to roll my R's. And she is going to help us talk about our menstrual cycle, how we can get through it, why it does what it does, and so much more. So, Chary, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm so happy to be here in this podcast.
I am thrilled to have you here. And I hope I rolled my R's good.
Yeah, it's fine. It's a little Latin American flavor in your podcast. So
I love
totally
it.
Understandable.
I love it. All right. So, I don't even know where to start with this one. This is not a topic I talk about a lot. So I'm excited to actually talk about this. Let's start at the beginning. We all get it, or the majority of us, I should say. I'm sure there's the few exceptions. But I've noticed, after, what am I going on? 38 years of having a period. Holy cow, that's a lot of periods. It has changed over the years. So, what happens with our bodies and our cycle that, makes it ebb and flow, so to speak?
Yeah, well, I love how you say that we all get the period. We all go through our menstrual cycle. And then even if we all go through it, it's something that we usually don't feel comfortable talking about it. So I'm so happy that today we're going to enjoy a little bit about getting to know each other, getting to know ourselves, and really understanding and accepting that every month, it's not even like every year, it's like every month we get our period, and it actually changes the way we feel, the way we think, how productive we are. And that's why I decided to really understand and try to apply productivity into our menstrual cycle and our business. I am a business and productivity coach for women. So I teach people how to align your life according to what's happening in your body, starting with your menstrual cycle. And if you think about it, women go through a cycle that lasts 28 days, and men only go through a cycle that lasts 24 hours. So every day for them is the same, but for us, every day is completely different, right?
Right.
So starting from there, we need to understand that our cycle is not only when we're bleeding, but it's like every day of the month. And it's actually divided in 4 different categories that we can go through them a little later. But I really want you to think about it like something that happens in my body that's affecting my productivity. And it's not only when we're bleeding, it's actually every day. All the time, we are cycling, we are cyclical women. So we're changing and we're feeling different. And that's completely normal, completely okay. And there's actually a way to take advantage of it.
Okay. How do we take advantage of it?
All right. So let's analyze a little bit our cycle. And the cycle is basically divided in 4 different stages. So the one that's like more obvious is when you're bleeding. And that's the period, the time of the month where you can like really become a very intuitive person and really listen to what you want. So, when you're getting your period, you're like super, like maybe you get upset very fast, or you don't have a lot of patience. It's a clear sign that what you're doing in your day to day, it's not making you happy. So it's a clear sign that you need to change it, right? It's your intuition talking to you. So that first stage when you're bleeding, it's the time to rest. It's the time to stop hustling and stop having like a million things to do. Because actually, if you do that, you're going to be wasting your energy because your body is telling you to do the opposite. So I teach my clients, or I teach the people I work with, to plan their month so that during this 5 to 7 days, they can really rest. If they do so, the next week is going to be the follicular phase. And the follicular phase is the same energy as the spring. It's basically all the birth of all these new ideas. It's the time where you are ready to do brainstorming, to be super creative, to learn a lot. You have a lot of estrogen levels in your body, so you will be super creative. And it's the time not to work like in really specific tasks and to be super focused in your Excel sheet, but actually to do a brainstorming, to find the name of your podcast, to think about new stuff that you can bring into your business. Then after this follicular phase, we go to the ovulatory phase, where you are like summer, right? Your energy is like, let's meet a lot of people. Your skin, you are like radiant, you are beautiful. So it's the time to sell, to have these crucial conversations where you want to ask for a raise, to meet new people and negotiate, right? You will have the energy to meet others. It's just like summer. It's a lot of energy, right? And then after that is the luteal phase, where you will actually be super productive because you're getting ready for your menstrual cycle, and finishing your task will give you a lot of joy. So instead of being out there getting to know a lot of people, you will be like, okay, I want to finish everything I was doing. I want to cross everything in my to-do list and just get it done, because my body is getting ready to rest. So it's not about just one day, it's actually 28 days. And when you start to align your tasks according to your energy every day, you are more productive because you will stop fighting against yourself, and you will start actually enjoying. When you get your period, you'll be like, okay, it's time to watch Netflix, eat whatever I want, and rest. I don't have to be running all the time, right?
Yeah. Wow. That I've never heard it broken down like that. That is absolutely cool. And I'm sitting here going, God, that just makes so much sense. Because I know for me personally, the week of my period, I'm useless. I have like very little energy. I just want to lay around. You're bloated. You're cramping. And yeah, so that makes absolute sense. But what about for those who are not regular? Like mine doesn't come like clockwork. I have an idea of when I'm going to expect it, but I'm not one of those that could set my calendar by it.
Yeah, well, we're also very influenced by the moon and by the energy of the moon. Mm-hmm. Men are very influenced by the energy of the sun. So women are very influenced by the energy of the moon. So let me explain a little bit how I came across with all this information, and I started to put it in practice in my day-to-day. I was actually pregnant, so I wasn't bleeding because, of course, when you're pregnant, you don't have like this period, but you're still a cyclical person. So every month you go through all these phases. The thing is that the way you can track it is by using the energy of the moon or the phases in the moon, right? So I tracked my energy every day, and I tracked the activities I felt like doing, not the ones that I had to do, but the ones that I was like, you know what, today I want to meet a friend. And then I started to see that it was around the time where it's like the full moon. It's when the moon is very visible in the sky. I also felt that I wanted to be with other people and I wanted to be visible. And I started to test this. And also, I started to invite my friends and ask everybody and ask a lot of people around. And then I noticed there is a pattern. After that, I did a lot of research, and there's a lot of information regarding how the moon is influencing all of us. So basically, the full moon, like maybe this upcoming days, like in the next days, on Friday is going to be full moon. You will feel that you have a lot of energy to talk to people, to meet others. That's basically why I scheduled this meeting with you today, because I know today I will feel this willing to meet others and to share everything that I know, right? But then the new moon, where you don't see the moon in the sky, it's like all black, you as well will feel super tired and you will want to go home or sleep, or maybe like take things easy and not follow a very perfect calendar. So the things that sometimes we are not aware of it, but once you start tracking it, you will notice there is a pattern, right? Every person is different, of course. So the phases might last a little longer or a little less, or also you will feel the influence of the moon a little more sometimes during the year. And that's completely normal. But once you start, making it a habit, it will be easier for you and it will be more enjoyable to plan your month instead of your week or only your day.
Okay. So maybe use like one of those tracking apps to kind of keep track of your cycle for a few months until you can see the pattern.
Yes, exactly. Also, I have a planning sheet that you can download from my Instagram. It's Chary Vargas, and I can send it to you in English and also in Spanish. And that is basically a very simple way to track how you feel, right? You can do it in paper if you want. You can write it in your computer, or you can sync the moon calendar to your Google Calendar, and you will see it and you will start noticing your pattern. So, for example, next time you are going to plan a webinar, for example, try to find when is your ovulatory phase or when is the full moon, and take advantage of that.
Now you've got me rethinking my entire calendar, my whole production calendar. I'm going to have to go look and see all the moon phases and rearrange my calendar a bit here. Yeah. So, I mean, this is fascinating. I've never thought about, my period in connection with my productivity, but it just absolutely makes sense. Now, typically like the week before, I can usually tell when it's coming, because the week before I will eat everything in the house that is not nailed down. And then about 2 or 3 days before, my breasts start hurting, like when you're first pregnant and your boobs really start hurting. Mine will do that a couple of days before I start. So those are some indicators that I can use personally to begin tracking and creating that pattern for me. But, during those times, what are some things that we should be doing for our bodies, for our mental health? I know that we've talked about productivity and resting, but are there other things that we should be doing as well?
Yes, of course. I mean, every day we have the opportunity to really get to know how do we feel more and more every day. There are very simple things that I really recommend to put in practice, and that is all. Those little actions are also going to help you be more regular in your period, because the reason sometimes that we are not regular is because of stress, is because of lack of sleep, lack of exposure to nature, a bad nutrition habits. All of these little things also impact if you're regular, if your period is like really, really like painful and it's uncomfortable. It's probably because of all the other little things, right? And those can be fixed. So I recommend people to try to have more contact with nature. So try to get a little bit of sun in the morning so you can tell your body, hey, it's time to wake up. It's time to work. try as well to go to sleep early so that you give your body enough time to rest and restore. Some other things you can do is, of course, work out. And the workout is also aligned with your menstrual cycle. So during your menstruation, you can do yoga or very like Pilates, very simple and easy movements. Then the week after your menstruation, it's your follicular phase. It's the best time to do cardio, to go run, walk a little bit and move. During your ovulatory phase, it's the best time to do things with other people. So go to like Zumba classes or spinning classes and do something with others, like in a little group or community. And then your luteal phase, it's the best time for heavy weight training like CrossFit, HIIT, and bodybuilding. And that way, you will also lose weight really, really, really fast, as well as feel like, hey, I like working out, instead of like, oh my God, I hate going to the gym. It's probably because you're doing something that is not aligned to what your body is asking you to do.
Wow. I've never, gosh, it's funny that, here I've had a period for 38 years and I'm sitting here learning completely new things about it. And this is amazing. So my mind is just kind of blown right now, but it makes sense because I know that when I'm on my period, the last thing I really want to do is work out. So, doing like the cardio and the lighter activities makes sense. And then, saving the heavy workouts for, what is it, your summer phase when you're full of energy and
yes, like summer and autumn. Yeah. Like I used to do CrossFit. I did CrossFit for like 6 years and I was very into heavy weightlifting and all of these things. And I remember like going to the gym and being like, oh my God, I want to go home. I don't want to be here.
Right.
Like, why am I here? And I mean, at the end of the day, I would do the workout like with half of my energy and then sleep like a lot or eat a lot, of course, because I was taking my body to a place where I wasn't, my energy at the time was not ready for that. So once I started changing that and accepting that there are days that I don't want to go to the gym and it's fine, everything started to feel more normal and I started losing weight faster. Like all my pregnancy weight went away super fast when I started to align what I do with how I feel.
Something else that I've noticed too, and you touched on it, was nutrition. And I've noticed that when I'm eating well, I'm drinking a lot of water, doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, my periods are a breeze. But on the opposite, if my diet goes to crap and I'm eating junk food and cookies and all that, drinking soda and stuff like that, I notice that those are the times where I have the least amount of energy. I'm the highest amount of cramps and my periods are just miserable. So nutrition really plays a huge factor in how you feel and how your cycle goes.
Yes, absolutely. And if you go like a little more, like a little deeper, like with these habits, you will see that the reason why probably you're eating a lot of cookies and a lot of like everything that we shouldn't be eating, like in theory,
yep.
It's probably because you're like super stressed. You're working more than what you should really be working. You're not sleeping, or maybe you are very anxious because you are not in contact with other people and you're just alone working by yourself. So it's not just telling yourself, okay, I'm not going to eat cookies anymore. I'm not going to order pizza. I'm going to eat a salad. But this issue is going to go out in somewhere else. Like maybe you won't be able to sleep. So we need to do is really fix what's causing this need for sugar, or what's causing this insomnia, right? And really fix that.
This is awesome. I'm so glad that you came on and are talking about this today because, like I said before, and like you said, we just don't talk about our periods enough. It's just another one of those topics that we keep hush hush and, and that's crazy. It's a part of life. It's just part of being human, being female. And, there's no need to be embarrassed by it or anything like that. And, now you're teaching us some ways that we can almost take control and, plan our lives accordingly so that we can be more productive. So this is phenomenal. I'm definitely going to head over to Instagram when we're done recording here and go download you have. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you so much. And I totally agree with what you're saying. I'm from Panama. So in Panama, women are supposed to be, like in Latin America in general, we're supposed to be always pretty and perfect. And talking about your period is something that's not appropriate, right? It's like,
Shh,
you shouldn't be talking about that. Like, who cares? But at the end of the day, half of the population go through your menstruation. So like, why is it wrong? Why is it weird? Right? So the only way this can become something natural, normal, and part of our day to day is to talk about it and be open about it and feel like ourselves, like women, we need to accept our period. That's it. And then people will see that it's part of it. Like my husband is like, yeah, he really understands that when I'm like in my ovulatory phase, he's like, okay, let's go dancing because she's going to be really into getting to know other people and meeting and talking like nonstop. And I'm like, yeah, let's take advantage of it.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be fun. I was gonna mention that talking about it, talking to our daughters about it, being open, being honest, not showing our daughters that we're embarrassed about talking about it. That's the only way that we're going to change the stigma and the hush hush about having our menstrual cycles. But not only that, educating our sons as well. I've seen posts and memes out there about sons who are actually prepared in case they come across a woman or a girl at school who has had her period. I don't know if the memes and stuff that are true or not, but it sounds good to know that there are guys out there who are educated and understand and realize that, it's just a fact of life. It's not gross. It's not something to be ashamed of. It's not something to tease people about, just help a girl out and go on with your day. So, absolutely educating our children is key to opening up society about talking more about this.
Yes, I totally agree. And I hope for my daughter, I have a daughter and a son. So I hope for my daughter to have a more equal society where she can have her period and not be like, here she comes with her period. Now she's going to be grumpy or she's going to be a bitch because she has her period. Right. All these comments that we as women sometimes refer to. And I also hope for my son to be able to support women and to promote a more inclusive society, understanding that this is part of life. It's something that won't go away for a while in our life. So we have to really embrace it and take the best from it.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, Chary, thank you again for coming on. Listeners, I will have all of her contact information down in the show notes. So just go to therealityofitall.com, pull up her episode, Chary's episode, and all her contact information, the link to her Instagram and everything will be there for you. So thank you as always for tuning in. We'll talk to you in the next show. That's it for today's show. Thanks for listening. Be sure you subscribe to us on your favorite podcast platform. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, and TikTok.